And that is us. It is done. I think it's about 23 minutes past 5. We've been kicked out of E3. Officially, it is over.
I think they sort of the loudspeakers went on during our last interview, and that was sort of the signal that everybody get the fuck out.
We were in the media lounge and they just turned the lights off. And this dark voice like, get out. They really want to shift people out this year as quickly as possible. So we thought we'd come out here and, shoot an end of show blog that everyone else seems to be doing as well.
Yeah.
So unique ideas as usual at Gamereactor.
Unique and great ideas.
Unique and great ideas, but we do our own flavour, we do our own spin. This is the best end of show blog you will see on the internet right now. Highlights.
Yeah, exactly. What was the best things for? I've had a few cool experiences today actually. First of all, I played around with the Oculus Rift, the EVR demo at CCP Games. Something they showed off at FanFest, just a proof of concept, something they were experimenting with, and sounds like they want to turn it into a game, and it was really, really awesome. And just imagine sort of space fight, dogfighting. With the VR, you can turn every way. You're directing the missiles by moving your head, which looks really funny for anyone who's watching it.
And you'll probably see a little film clip of it soon enough of Bengt doing that, yeah.
But that was awesome. Also, extremely cool was the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt demo. I think they're doing some really cool things that I think they do a better job of actually portraying Geralt as a monster hunter, the way he tracks monsters, the way he interacts with the world to find out what the best way to deal with these monsters are. Very nice job indeed, and the game looks spectacular. Of course, it's an open world game now, so that is certainly something to look out for. Don't expect it anytime soon.
Wouldn't expect it, no. I mean,
sadly.
Open world is pretty much all about my highlight of the show, which is Destiny. I mean, there's been a ton of indie titles that have really sort of caught my eye, but for just sheer spectacle, Destiny. I mean, we went in to have a look at it at the Activision booth. They showed the same demo that we saw at the conference, but at the start they basically went, okay, we know everyone's seeing it here, so we're going to do something a little bit different. So basically, instead of going straight through that wall, they just sort of turned the camera on, panned, and went, right, and here's the rest of the world, the stuff you don't see, and you can go there, and you can go there, and it was just that you're blown away at the scale, and it just looks so good. Now, there's a couple of little freezes at the conference. This one, smooth as butter.
Well, we don't really know what happened there during the conference, but we have seen some instances of that with both next-gen consoles on the floor. People taking care not to overheat these new machines.
A lot of fans. Yeah, it was Assassin's Creed doing that impromptu dubstep video where everything just froze up. No.
Yeah, I got to see some of the devs when they were sort of prepping. They made sure to turn off the Xbox One for a while, just to cool it down, make sure that no hiccups. I didn't see any hiccups, but I'm sure there are some. And also, what else was there? There was a demo. That was a PC demo. PC demos are notoriously
buggy. Yeah.
So,
but also, show floor, whilst we were pinballing between interviews during the last few days, it was nice to actually sort of have a gaze around and see the boosting, see the spectacle of the whole thing. I mean, it is amazing, and God knows how much money goes into putting these booths together.
Certainly. I would say that perhaps the show floors aren't as impressive as they have been in the past, because they're filling them out in the back, so to speak, with like smaller booths and food court and things like that. So not quite as packed as it usually is, and I guess that's also coming to the end of a generation. It's not quite a full array of next-gen titles out there. Certainly some that caught our eye, like The Division, for instance, something that we're excited about. Obviously Watch Dogs. And I played a bit of Rise today, and it was actually way more freedom than I was expecting. I thought, looking at the demo, it looked like a quick time event. Yeah. Well, it's a linear experience. It's a cinematic experience, but there's much more freedom in combat than you'd think from watching the demo. So
cool. Yeah. Well, I got hands-on with PlayStation 4, trying out Drive Club and trying out NAC. Bit hard to get into it because Drive Club's the whole emphasis is on the social aspect. They were saying how to fake it, obviously enough for an E3 demo. It didn't quite get across what they wanted to do with it, but it's an interesting idea, and the fact that during the course of a lap, what the game will do, it will judge based on leaderboards that will either be your friends or the wider global thing, who's close enough to just beating you around a corner, be it for drift, style, or whatnot. So when you enter a corner, there'll be a line that'll say from this point to this point, see what you can score, and it'll stack up the person that's closest to you, whether you can beat them or not. And so it's a progressive thing, so every single corner of every lap's different. I love that idea. Knack, whilst looking nice, it's very much like a just classic platformer, and I think it's more oriented obviously towards the younger audience. So yeah, it's all right, but
I mean, the next gen thing about that is the simulation of all the objects in it, and it's not really a sexy thing. It's not something that stands out like, oh, this is next gen.
Yeah.
You know, yes, the basics of it feels like something that could easily be done now.
Little bit of visual flair, but I really do think the best is yet to come from PlayStation 4 and certainly Xbox One, and I'm personally really excited to see the games come towards launch.
Yeah, and we'll see how Microsoft may perhaps change their stance on a few key issues leading up to launch. They may have to do that. I think there's been a bit of a backlash here at E3. Tiny. The games were great, though, we should say that, and the focus is, of course, on the games, but that sort of truism that it's all about the games didn't really ring true at this year's E3.
There's much more to discuss, much more to talk about, and many more answers actually still to have, which we'll find at launch. But as for us, as for now, I think that's E3, that's us.
It. Are we dropping our badges?
But just before we go, just to say that, obviously enough, check in with Gamereactor. We'll have previews, hands-on impressions, as well as more interviews over the course of the next few days and coming weeks. But yeah, I think that's us. I think it's time to do the iconic.
Customary.
And done.